Well, it's that time again. Welcome to Let's Talk with Teresa Ann. I am so grateful that you are joining me on today's episode. This is a special one because I have an incredible guest by the name of Cara Masae Jones. She will be my guest in just a few minutes, but let me give you an introduction to who you're about to hear me interview. She is a passionate woman of God who is so on fire in a way of she just walks out the gift of evangelism without really even realizing it. The power of the Spirit of God that rests on her and within her is so evident as she is really carrying the legacy of her mom, who just passed away a few months ago. And Cara is going to walk us through this journey that she has been on. It's a new journey to say the least. But in it all, she is seeing the faithfulness of God. So here is what's coming up next on Let's Talk. Cara, you're here! I am so excited.
Me too.
This is what I want all of you to know, is that when Cara and I get together, it is a mobile party. Please share with us how you came into relationship with God.
Okay. I grew up in church. I really got saved when I was probably in middle school. And my main experience with the Lord at that time was, like church camp.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Summer revival.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you're just so on fire.
Yes.
But my senior year in high school, I actually entered a 7-year season of rebellion. And my mother finally, at some point during that 7 years, she just released me back to the Lord because she didn't know what else to do with me. And I had no contact with her for years. And people that know my mother and us could not imagine that, right?
Right.
Because we became so close. But I just drove her crazy, and she shed a lot of tears, and she burned a lot of midnight oil on her knees for me. And I had just found myself just totally no relationship with the Lord. And I didn't even recognize myself. I had just negotiated my non-negotiables. I had moved all my boundaries and just found myself involved with people I never would have associated myself with, doing with things I never imagined in my life that I would be doing. And ultimately, I found myself at the Four Seasons, that my mom liked to call it. But it wasn't the hotel. It was a prison cell.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and she called it the Four Seasons because I was in the actual prison for a year. And so she just, we would talk about it in public place. She's like, remember when you were in the Four Seasons?
Oh my God.
And so now my family can totally joke about it.
Yes.
And I'm very transparent about that with everybody in my life, because I think that it's important to know that, number one, you can't just look at a person.
That's right.
And think that you know who they are or what they've been through, because thank the Lord, I don't look like what I've been through.
Yes. Amen, sister. Come on. High five.
So I found myself there and removed from the world, right? Removed from the distractions of the world. I was already a mother, so I didn't have my kids. But I was there, and it was me, and it was Jesus. And it was a turning point. Okay, you are not living the life that you are called to live. And I had to be plucked from that. Wow. Sitting there in a prison, what am I doing here? Why am I here? My first time offense, okay, should not have been this,
Wow.
But that's what it took. And when I was there, the Lord just really started working on me, and just really started drawing me in. And that was the first time that I really understood what my mom said or the pastor or whoever, about having a personal relationship with Jesus.
Come on.
And that's how it started.
That's how it started.
And then I started ministering to people because I have, I've been to college. So I would work in a school there. That was my job, because when you're in prison, everyone has a job.
Oh.
Well, because of my education level, I worked in this school helping people earn their GEDs. But there were some people who were completely illiterate.
Really?
And there were women there that wanted to read the Bible.
Oh my gosh.
So I got to help them learn how to read the Word.
Oh my Lord.
And then the Lord just really started giving me, I started having dreams, visions of what my life would unfold to be and how He was going to use this situation to glorify Him and how He was going to position me and put me. And so here we are. That was in 2005. Okay?
Oh, wow.
So fast forward, here we are. And one of the things that He had shown me was that He was going to use me to minister to women.
Okay.
That I would be on platforms to be able to speak to women, and just He would just give me the words.
And you're here.
And I'm here.
Here's one of the platforms.
Here's one of the platforms.
Wow, of many.
Of many. He just makes room.
Yes.
Right? He makes room, and He makes provision to be able to use you, to use me, to use you, right? To share our experiences, whatever they may be, because they're all different.
That's right.
But they're meant for someone.
That's right.
You know?
What I believe ultimately is that each of our testimonies that testify of His goodness and His faithfulness, even in the midst of our unfaithfulness, is really our gospel.
Absolutely.
It's our gospel message.
Absolutely. I love how you said that in Daughters of the King.
Yeah.
The Gospel of Cara.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, there's the Gospel of Matthew and Luke and John. There's the Gospel of Cara. And we're getting to hear that today, and I'm so excited. But what I also wanted to discuss is, I'm going to give everyone a background. Okay. When I met Cara, she came to a Daughters of the King with one of my past guests, Nicole Cato. And it was incredible getting to meet this vivacious, vibrant, gregarious woman of God who just has this saying, okay, who's going to get it today? And when she says that, it's not in the way you think. It's in the way of whoever tries to hurt her, she's going to get the blessings to them. Like she is going to overwhelm them with the love of God. So that's kind of her little saying. But there's a background to that, because her mom, who I got to briefly meet a few months after that first meeting, was she... Oh my gosh. They came to, and this was probably one of the first times I ever had a day gathering at my home. And you and your sister and your mom all made it.
Yes.
And
I said, y'all have to come. Y'all have to come and meet this woman, Teresa.
Oh my goodness.
You are not going to believe, like we should be related.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? You have to meet her. She's so awesome.
Well, what's so cool, and this is where I wanted to get to, is her mom is half Japanese. And I think your dad has some Lebanese in him, right? Well, I'm half Korean, and I'm also quarter Lebanese. So we had these commonalities. We knew about the different foods and the cultures, and we knew all about, honor and honor and respect
and serving.
Yes, exactly. And her mom really had this passion, like I do, with Luke 6:27, which bless those that hurt you.
Yes.
Do good to those who spitefully use you, and pray for those who persecute you. And so it's kind of been this ongoing revelation that I've had. And then your mom comes into the picture, and she shares her testimony of she actually cancer was struggling with her, I should say, versus she struggling with struggling with her. For years. Yes. And she did not do the typical ways of fighting cancer. She did it with the word, and she did it with faith, and she lived a very long time.
Yes. 10 years after diagnosis.
Wow. Well, then she, just in a nutshell, was finally called home.
Yes, she
to
was.
heaven.
Yes.
In December. Is that right?
Yes.
Or was it January?
No, it was December, 2 days
Okay.
after Christmas. So she made it through Christmas. And then 2 days after, she, the Lord called her home, but I think she also
was ready.
I think she just said, I'm ready, Lord. Yeah. And because she fought the whole time. And the from day one until that morning, right, we were believing that the healing would continue to manifest on this side of heaven.
Yes.
And and that was her thing, you know.
Yeah.
I am healed. I am whole. I am alive. That she had done everything that she needed to do.
Yes.
She had made it through Christmas. You know, she just got to experience so many things in 2017, all of 2017.
Wow.
And looking back, we can see how intentional she was.
Yes.
And how purposeful she was to make sure that she imparted certain things to us, that she was present with all of her grandchildren, that she spent more time than she had, I guess, with my younger siblings. Even though she's the mom that's always there. Right. She was like, hey, Cookie, that's my younger sister, we're going to Cancun for a month. She's like, what? I don't want to go. I'm going to be in Mexico for a whole month. And, you know, but really and truly, and at that time I thought, well, that's not fair. I want to go. Right. But I had my mom for twice as long as my sister and my younger brother had my mom. So that time, that one-on-one time that she spent with each of them is very important, you know. She didn't know that, she didn't know that she was going to pass, but I tell you what, every single day was intentional. Every day. Every single day.
That, and what I love that you're saying that, because when I met your mom, you knew that, like, every week, for 17 years?
Yes, 17 years.
Every week, y'all, for 17 years, she had a Bible study in her house. And did she ever miss a week? Very rarely.
You could probably count on a handful of times, and it wasn't even like missing. It would be like, okay, we can't do Tuesday, but we can do like Wednesday.
Gotcha.
Something like that.
So she always
yes.
There was never a cancellation, I should say.
No, she was absolutely. She loved ministering and witnessing and just loving on people. Yeah. And she would do prepare a full spread meal for all the people that would come. Wow. Crazy time, right?
Every week?
Every week. I wanted to go to San Antonio just to eat home cooking.
Because that's where they lived, right?
Yes, at that time they were living in San Antonio primarily. They had a house here and they had a house there, and that was their primary residence because my siblings were still going to school there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes. You're living life every single day, right?
Right.
And you don't even realize, right, how much attention that the Lord pays to the details of your life. You just don't even realize that because you're just living everyday life. Yeah. Oh, am I going to go here? Am I going to go there? What am I going to do? And you don't realize that you're an answer to someone's prayer.
Yes.
Or you don't realize that someone may have a need that they're not even aware of. Kind of like I ran into a mom at the school day before yesterday. And, she probably wasn't praying to see me. At that moment, I was there and I was able to speak life into her and I was able to love on her. And she needed that right then in the school. And I was just looking crazy leaving the gym, dropping off some cheer paperwork that was due that day that I didn't realize it was due that day. So when you look back too, I think even, when I met Nicole,
yes,
I met her at the park, random.
Wow.
A week later, she brings me to meet you.
You had just met her the week before?
Just met her. Yes.
I had no idea.
Yes.
You would have thought they knew each other for years.
Right. And we just met each other. She says, do you want to go to this Bible study thing? It's my first time to go too. Do you want to go? And I was like, yes, I do. But that was an answer to my prayer because I had been praying to meet new godly women.
Wow.
So that's why it's like you just don't realize the Lord pays attention. He has a plan.
Yes.
And sometimes you don't understand the plan. We don't know the plan. But when you look back and start realizing, when you look through kingdom lenses,
come on,
right? And then you can start seeing all of the things that have happened they had to be God. What else would they be?
Yes.
You know, what else would they be? Who else would have known that at that moment you needed to see that person, or at that moment you needed, you know, whatever it was, the need was just met.
Right.
Who else would have known that?
Who would have known that? That's just incredible.
Yeah.
I love that.
So when you said about my mom, how, you know, that you just met her the one time, but it was the instant connection.
Yes.
Right? My Facebook inbox was flooded when she passed with people who had one-time random encounters with her. But whatever she did or said to them touched them and impacted their lives in such a way that they either made a change in their lives, they came to the Lord, they came back to the Lord, or it just, what's the word I'm looking for? It just...
she pointed them back to the Father.
She pointed them back to the Father. Yes.
God.
You know, a lady on an airplane with a screaming baby. The mom's freaking out. My mom's like, oh, here, let me hold that little baby for you. And we're going to be on this plane, and we're just going to pray about it. We're going to be fine. Baby, calm down. Mama, calm down. And then they get a chance to talk about Jesus and what the Lord's doing in my mom's life, and, you know, what's going on in this woman's life, and things like that. Just things like that. Wow. You know?
Just evidence that she was in love with Jesus.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. But you know that whenever you're saved and you've been like in some really grimy places in your life, same here. You can't help. You just have to. You just can't hold in something that's so awesome.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people that holds in awesome things because you don't want other people to have it.
Yeah, that's sad.
You just can't do that with Jesus.
No, you cannot.
You just cannot. Even if you try to resist, sometimes he'll just make your mouth speak.
That's right. Come on.
So it's like,
even the rocks will cry out.
Yeah.
You know, so
just don't fight the Lord.
Exactly.
It's going to happen.
Hear that? It's so good. You know, what I love too is after your mom passed, obviously there's still grieving, and there's grieving in different ways.
Right, absolutely.
But what I love is that through your grieving process, you didn't let the spirit of grief come on you.
Right.
But you let the Spirit of God and his joy in the midst of grief to carry you to say, you know what, my mom did not live here in vain. Right. To just live for Jesus, and we can just admire her from afar.
Yes, absolutely.
You said, my mom left a legacy of not her own, but of Christ.
Yes.
And I am going to live this now.
Right.
And what made you, was there a moment, a shift after she passed that made you finally just, it clicked, or was it just something you knew to carry the baton? So on the next Motivational Monday, you are going to hear the answer to that question. Isn't Cara just a beautiful human being? Well, with that said, thank you so much for joining me on Let's Talk with Teresa Ann. Remember, this show is about bold inspiration, revealing God's goodness. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. You can also visit www.letstalkstudio.com.